A man named Hanif was going somewhere with his wife and 3 kids. He was an orphan who was adopted by someone. He spent his childhood in an orphanage home. But now that orphanage's owner was sick and they were going to see him. While driving the car, they feel something was hit by the car. After getting out, they found a dead deer at the corner of the road. They leave from there, and at the same time, we are shown a girl on the other side of the road. Soon they reach that orphanage home and Hanif sees his many childhood friends. They grow up with him in the orphanage home. They are also there to check up on their past caretaker. So they all get happy after meeting each other. Hanif comes to know that all of his friends were adopted except 2 kids. Those 2 kids grow up in this orphanage and they still live there. A girl named Ronnie shows Hanif and others the orphanage home with another girl. Ronnie tells very much about her, that she was taken there when she was 10 years old. She says, "I still believe that my mother will return to take me." She shows them all rooms, while Hanif's son named Haki has discovered a secret room. Its door was closed for many years and Ronnie sees him. She explains the room, that many years ago there was a caretaker of this orphanage home, who used to live in this room. There was a girl who was possessed. The caretaker screams at that girl and soon that girl was lost and no one knows about her. That caretaker was gone insane and due to it, the orphanage management decided to imprison her in her room. She shouted and started hitting her head on the door. But before the door opens, she dies of blood loss. Since then this door is closed. Haki gets scared and he goes to his father. Hanif was also talking about this while showing the picture of the caretaker. They all had dinner and Hanif goes to his car. He gets astonished after seeing his car's front because there was blood and a piece of cloth. He gets suspicious while thinking, was it the deer that they had collided with? He goes to that place with his friend and the deer was still there. But his friend sees the girl on the other side of the road. There was also a bus that belongs to an orphanage, and on that bus, many kids were severely injured. After witnessing them closely, they conclude that they have been murdered brutally by someone. Surely, this wasn't an accident and they call the police. But there was a network problem. They decide to take that girl to the orphanage with them. When they reach the orphanage, a man asks them from where they are coming. He sees the dead body of that girl in their car and Hanif tells him all the incidents. That boy says to Hanif and his companion that I will go there and see. How did this incident happen? He alone moves to that road and after going onto the bus, he notices that the kids are not dead. He gets scared and tries to get off, but the door of the bus was closed. Meanwhile, he feels that there is someone outside in a black costume. During this time, the kids in the bus were moving and he steps on an egg. Many insects go inside his body and the man dies there. On the other side, we see a girl holding a knife and apple in her hand. While seeing in the mirror, she feels that she is fat and starts cutting fat from her neck. The scene changes to a girl who was sleeping on her bed. Some worms fell on her and went inside her body. Meanwhile, the possessed girl's husband arrives and gets scared after seeing her. But when that girl comes to her senses, she faints again. Seeing this condition of his wife, he immediately calls Hanif and his wife. During this, the girl whose body was filled with worms also arrives there. She vomits blood from worms, but still, some worms were multiplying in her body and they were slithering in her body. She starts peeling off her skin, but her condition was getting worse. Both the girls were being taken to the hospital, but the strange road takes them back to the orphanage. The road has become the circle and it was repeating again and again. Hanif reveals that the caretaker of this orphanage home was a bad woman. 25 years back, she oppresses those kids. She used to practice black magic and because of it, she sacrificed 3 kids. Hanif and his 2 friends have seen her sacrificing those kids. Before she could catch them, they run from there. Today, 25 years later, 3 of these friends were together, but one of them was killed on the bus. Might be possible that the caretaker is still behind them. The owner of that orphanage home also comes to know it. So he asked them to imprison this caretaker in her room. And they had buried her under the floor of that room. On the other side, we see Hanif's elder son who was stapling his lips with a stapler. Meanwhile, we also see Haki who was playing a video on a video player. But then he sees someone's dreadful face. He runs to his elder brother, but he was possessed and shoots him with a gun. It was a rat gun, so he doesn't get much harm. Meanwhile, Hanif and his wife also come there and were planning to move from there. While finding her son, Hanif's wife goes to the room of the owner. He was lying on his bed and under his bed, she finds a box. Some photographs were present there that conclude the sick owner wasn't a good man. He used to beat and molest girls. The caretaker who died in the room was good. She wanted to save the girls from that owner. He doesn't want to reveal his secret and builds a fake story that the caretaker is bad and possessed. So they could kill her. Everyone gets confused while thinking that if the owner is a bad man, then who is doing all this right now? They suspect Ronnie, the owner, abused her and tries to kill her. That's why she is taking revenge on all. Meanwhile, she also comes there and tells them that maybe that caretaker is doing all this because she died in unbearable pain. Meanwhile, the girl whom they found on another side of the road also comes to her senses. She tells them that we all were going to the picnic from the orphanage home. But then a woman in a black dress comes on our bus. When she comes, all kids were possessed and they lose their control. She was saying some magical spells, but I was spared and wasn't possessed by them because there were headphones on my ears. After seeing those kids' conditions, I ran from there. And while on road I got hit by your car. Hanif feels bad that the caretaker wasn't a bad lady. He was regretting why he locked her on that owner's false statements. He goes in anger to kill the owner, but his wife stops him. Hanif finds a photograph there which has a name written behind it. And it was the girl who was missing. Now he understood that she is the girl who was doing all this. They were about to move from there, but Hanif's sons comes there. They were severely injured. While going out, a lady in a black dress comes in front of them, and she was the same girl who was missing many years ago. With the help of black magic, she was choking Hanif. She also possessed Nadia, who was about to kill her. Ronnie comes from behind and hit her. She was the daughter of the woman wearing the black dress. While using her magic, she starts giving pain to the people present in the orphanage. Someone suffers from body pain and someone's fingers start breaking. Then they come to that room where that caretaker was buried. The candles were blowing there. It means there will be some ritual. Hanif's wife asks that lady, why are you doing this? We agree that you can give pain to them, who killed that lady, but why did you kill those small kids? That girl says if they will live here they will also be misbehaved. It's good that I killed them. She says to Hanif's wife that your husband was also included in all this. If you kill your husband, then I will let you go from here with your sons. Hanif's wife couldn't do this. Meanwhile, their elder son named Haki stabs that lady. Getting a chance, Hanif's wife cuts her head. Her head detaches from her body, but she joins it again. She was coming again to attack them, but Hanif's wife throws those candles on her that was blown for rituals. This was the only thing that can kill her, and that girl dies there. The possessed people come to their senses. They get ready to move from the orphanage home. But they don't take out that owner from there because it was the time for him to get punishment for his sins. Now we see the scene after some days. Hanif's wife was going to take her sons from school. But then outside the car, the shadow of that girl is shown whom they killed some days before. When she comes out, she didn't find anything. The movie ends here. Thanks for watching, and don't miss out next movie recap displayed on the screen.